better best. Do it better best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Good gets better. Good gets better. Any better gets better. Any better gets better. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bears.
Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
I
No.
memorized
You
the
all
whole thing.
suck, okay? No.
I ain't memorized the whole thing. I just know the
It's
first
good,
part of
better,
the chant.
best. Never let it rest. When the good gets better, then the better gets best.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna have to write that down. I just
Don't
know when
embarrass
they
me like
yell
that
back.
again.
I can see you all never did any nursery rhymes or anything.
Damn, we from the trenches. We ain't do no
Okay.
nursery
We're
rhymes.
gonna work.
We grew up rapping Twist and Crucial Conflict. That's what
Well,
we.
damn!
That's what we was
I didn't
doing.
know the trenches didn't have nursery rhymes.
That was our nursery rhyme.
Okay.
NWA, Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case.
What was your nursery rhyme?
Tupac, Dear Mama. Those is my nursery rhymes.
Good day. Good
Let's say,
day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Do or Die,
Sorry to that man.
Bone Thugs Harmony.
Okay.
That was
Crucial
my
conflict.
nursery rhyme.
Okay. I got you. Well, it still didn't help with your memorization. So
Shit, if you can remember a twisted bar, you got the memory of a goat.
You put Crucial Conflict on right now, I can rap it front to back, all the tracks.
okay, well, we're gonna need you to have the chant down by next week then. We got
I'm
faith
gonna get
in
the
you.
chant down by next week. Ben
Okay.
yells it so fast I can barely
Of
understand what he's
course.
saying.
He's an intense guy.
He is.
You're going to definitely need that chant down packed next week, Q, because this train ain't coming off the tracks no time soon, bro. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we will talk about next week when in due time. But we got to continue putting these flowers down for the Bears for their Week 10 win. Not flowers on the grave of the Giants, even though rest in peace Brian Daboll as the New York Giants head coach. Sorry what the Bears did to that man, but the Bears.
Rest in peace, Paul Tagliabue. That's the first commissioner I came up under. Paul did a great job growing the game.
And Paul's the one who told Trump no, you couldn't have no team, so he'll always be a star in my eyes.
Exactly.
And Trump been a bitter bitch since.
That wasn't. I don't think that was Tagliabue.
No, we're gonna just go with that.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
You're
Let's
talking
just go
about
with
in
it.
the 80s?
Whichever
after he has.
commissioner told him no, shout out to them.
Okay, that commissioner's dead too, so okay, we can go up with that.
Listen, we in the age of misinformation. Whatever Tiff said it was is what it was.
I'm looking it up. I like to be factual. I could be wrong.
You ain't got to be
but I could have
factual.
swore it was Tagliabue. Oh no, it was Pete Rozelle. My bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
exactly.
Rozelle?
Yeah.
When did Tagliabue get in? 88?
But he must have left right after that because I knew it was the 80s. I guess he did it in the early 80s. I think
Right.
Tagliabue
came
in
after
like
Rozelle.
85 or some shit.
Rozelle was the commissioner during the last strike. Tagliabue didn't have any strikes or any lockouts during his era. He came in like the early 90s. And then he left in 06.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know. Well, regardless, maybe he didn't tell Trump. He made sure Trump didn't get no team under his era, and I'm gonna respect that as well.
I mean, he let Jerry Jones get one though.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Unlike the Bears don't lose any.
Period.
Bears 24-20 over the New York Giants. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of game balls we got to give out. I know, Q is going to try to, put everybody underneath his good umbrella. But before we get into that, I want to ask you all this. The Bears have won six of the last 7. Does it feel a little fraudish to you? Because that's what kind of the national media is saying. It's a little fraudish. Do you all feel like that? The Bears are 6-3. They've won 6 out of the last 7. Does it feel a little fraudish? Does it feel like, yeah, the Bears they're beating up on bums. They're stumping out bums. But when the real wins come, the real Bears are going to show up. I mean, 1, they're winning all these games in cardiac fashion. 2, the Bears are only like a 38% chance to make the playoffs as a 6-3 team right now.
That's crazy. I get it.
It was less than that.
The Bears are the 7th seed right now, right? And the 49ers are a half game.
If the playoffs started today, the Bears would be the last team in.
Fraudish? No, I can't say fraudish. I feel like that's an unfair title. Winning games in the NFL is hard. So one thing I do want to see the Bears do, and they'll have the opportunity in the upcoming weeks, is beat a team over 500. We have not beat a team over 500. The only team we faced over 500, we lost to in blowout fashion. However, nobody penalized the Commanders last year where they won a bunch of close games early in the season over the likes of us, over the likes of the Giants, over teams that didn't have good records. So I feel you can only play who's on your schedule. And if the Bears were not 6-3, we'd be having an issue with that. I do want the Bears to give us a little breathing room, but winning games in the NFL are hard. I didn't hear anybody criticizing Bo Nix or the Broncos for putting up 10 points and winning 10-7 against the Raiders. I didn't hear any peeps about that. I didn't hear any peeps about them barely getting past the Texans or the other. I mean, the Broncos have escaped several times over bad teams, and then I think the couple good teams they played, the Chargers, beat them pretty comfortably. So no, I don't want to apply that to the Bears because I don't think that's fair. Nobody's applying that to these other teams that are barely escaping with wins.
I mean, I'll be fair. I have heard the Broncos repeatedly be called pretenders and that they're not the 8-2 that their record shows. And I believe that about them. Whether I believe that about us or not, I'm on the fence because we all watch these games. And yesterday, more than anything, it really felt like we are just not here today. We do not have it on either side of the ball. Like besides, not even the first drive. We didn't score on the first drive, which was surprising for us. So then it seemed like what's going on? And the whole day, everybody just seemed off. And at the last minute, whether people want to say it's because Dart went out, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, a win is a win. Caleb, once again, put the team on his back when it counted, and we came out with the dub. And a win is a win, whether it's against the worst team in the league or the best team in the league, they all count the same. So at the end of the day, we are 6-3. Now, we're really about to find out what our character is made of in the rest of the schedule, really, because I think we have the toughest or second or third toughest remaining schedule. The time to play around and continue to think that, we can just be, lackadaisical for 3/4 of the game and then turn it on and win, that time is over because not saying we can't do that, but we're about to be playing better competition that's probably not going to let go of the rope like these other teams have. So I'm very happy that things continue to break our way. We were due this, okay? We've had so many seasons where everything broke for the other team and never for us. We are due this retribution and this payback. And it feels good, and I'm a bask in it. And I'm not going to apologize for the Bears winning. But there are a lot of things, particularly from this game, in my opinion, that really felt like, ooh, this game didn't look like we're as close as we may have felt in previous games. And I really don't feel like we've put a complete game together, except maybe the Cowboys game, where all sides of the ball were playing at least decently. So, I know we've had a lot of injuries. I know we've had a lot of miscues, but it's time for us to pull it together and stop playing around because these wins, while they've been exhilarating and frustrating and all those things, we can't play around like this anymore because we're really about to hit this stride of the schedule where if we're not on our P's and Q's, we may be getting stomped out, and that's not what we want. So I hope and pray that they're learning from this stuff. It was a lot. We'll get into the details of the game, but I'm just praying because we can't keep making these mistakes and think we're going to continue to do this once we start playing the really quality team.
You said something important there, Q. My second question is, do the Bears win this game if Jackson Dart stays in the game?
Now, see, I was asked that question by somebody who's watching that podcast, and that's a layered question, but this is how I'm going to answer it. With the way Jackson Dart was playing, it would be hard to forecast the Bears winning because they didn't show an ability to stop him on design runs and on scrambles. However, he didn't throw any touchdown passes. He was beating us with his legs. And like I told the person who asked me this, who follows the podcast, I said, here's the thing. When you call design runs for your quarterback, you are putting him in danger. And like it or not, unless he's built like Cam Newton, that usually always ends one way, with an injury. So I don't think you can rely on design runs to finish a team with your quarterback because, as you see, a lot of the quarterbacks around the league who have the design runs called for them, Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart recently, you tend to get beat up. So it's a cheat code. It's tough for a defense to account for a quarterback being a runner, especially when you get these RPOs and these misdirections. Those are tough. But on the other end of it, now you're giving a team a chance to tee off on your quarterback. And I don't know if you heard what CJ Garner Johnson said. He said, man, he said, I got sick of, having good coverage, and then he's leaking out the backfield. So when I got the chance, I wanted to hit him. That's a tough question, because when you run your quarterback, he's liable to get injured. And then I also have to say that, the ifs, ands, and buts. What if we had a healthy Jalen Johnson or a healthy Kyler Gordon head into this game, or a healthy Dominique Robinson? So I don't like to use injuries as an excuse, because this point of season where everybody's beat up. And the Bears have had as many injuries as almost anybody. So we haven't been fortunate with the injuries either.
I'm going to say yes. And the reason why I'm going to say yes, Jackson Dart was carving us up. Not trying to take anything from him. But at the end of the day, let's not act like this man is yet Peyton Manning or, Mahomes, where we just know, there's no way he would have let the game slip at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've already let other teams come back on them with Jackson Dart in the lineup. So let's not act like it's improbable or impossible. What I do think would have happened when we made that bonehead mistake of having 12 men on the field when they kicked the field goal, I do believe if they have Jackson Dart, they go for that fourth and half a yard or whatever it was, and potentially get a touchdown there instead of that field goal, right? But even if it played out like that, we still would have tied and went to overtime potentially. So would it probably have been more, a little bit harder if Jackson Dart was in there? Maybe. But at the end of the day, let's not act like Jackson Dart wasn't infallible. Like, he is risky. On that play, he ran and he lost the ball. What's to say he wouldn't have done that again? Even if he didn't get injured later in the game, he could have done something risky, or they're trying to run him, trying to make a play, or he could have thrown, which he didn't do much, and thrown a pick. So it's not like, Jackson Dart is a guaranteed dub. Like, people love to throw out these hypotheticals. If it wasn't the Giants, if Jackson Dart was still in. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, he wasn't. And Caleb, at the end of the game, was the best quarterback in the game. And I believe if Jackson Dart would have been in that game, Caleb still would have been the best quarterback in the game. So I'm going to say we still would have got that done.
I agree with all that. Wins count the same, no matter if they're against the Washington Generals or against the 72 Dolphins. A dub is a dub in that same category, right? There is something to be said about needing a last second rabbit to pull out of the hat to beat those Washington Generals week after week after week. But again, where do you expect the Bears to be in year one of the Ben Johnson era? If you watch this team in the last 5 seasons, you understand a roster that was put together with guys that knew nothing other than how to lose. We talk a lot about, knowing how to win, stuff like that, but it's not talked about enough about unlearning how to lose. If there's anything you could take from this, whether or not we make the playoffs or not is irrelevant at this point. We're 6-3 going into week 11. Whether or not we're going to make the playoffs is in front of us. We own that type of destiny. We can make a role for ourselves. But let's just revel in the fact that this team is showing the progress. They have figured at least one thing out: how to stop losing, how to stop dribbling down your leg. Yeah. And that's the first step of any rebuild. You have to unlearn the bad habits so you can relearn the good habits. No one's great at anything out the door. You do things good, and then you do it again good. You do it again. You can constantly do good and then that turns into great.
Good, better, best.
Perfect segue, Q. Let's talk about this game. And we're going to start with the good. Tiff, I'm laying out the red carpet for you as you in your Caleb fingernails painted hoodie. Give me your good from this 24-20 win.
My good is going to be what you kind of just alluded to, that we are the Chicago comeback kids right now. This is our 4th win this season when trailing in the final 2 minutes of the game. And I don't know, how that stacks with the history of the NFL, but I know dang sure the Bears ain't did nothing like that anytime recently. So to just think about, no matter how we got in those precarious situations, no matter what team we were playing, the fact of the matter is we were down in the final 2 minutes of 4 games, and we have come out of those games 4-0. And a great big reason for that is Caleb Williams. So we're going to add Caleb to that comeback kid title. And I got to give it up to him. Again, I felt so confident in him leading us down the field and for us getting in a position to score and score. We had went for it on 4th and goal earlier in the game, and we didn't get it. And I was thinking, damn, maybe we should have took that field goal. You know, when the score starts shaking out towards the end, we go for it again. And I'm like, this is really the game here, even though I think we had like 6 minutes left or something. And when Rome was wide open in the end zone, I'm like, okay, I feel like we about to win this game. So Caleb put the team on his back in that drive. The next ended up being the game-winning drive when Caleb was like, you know what? I'm not trusting none of you with throwing this ball. I'm about to run this shit in again because you're not about to ruin my comeback performance. You dropping daisies all game. I don't think so. He looked at OZ wide open and said, nah, bro, you thought, and ran it in himself. So I've got to give my good to the team as in general, but definitely Caleb once again showing us why he was the number 1 pick. Forget about quarters 1 through 3. What does that boy do in the 4th quarter? And to this day, it's come through for the team.
Caleb looks like a bad toddler when he's running. The legs barely get any distance.
He does. He looks so slow and clunky. And I do hate the way he holds the ball, boy. He be just having that ball out on a little platter
like
when he runs.
Like this. It don't look like it's going fast, but he's moving fast, though.
It don't. But he's moving fast. It don't look like he's moving fast at all. I don't know how they let him get in the end zone, but I'm glad they did. But it was funny. Was it the play before that or the drive before that when he was running and it looked like he ran out of steam? He didn't. He got clipped on his toes barely, but I thought he had ran out of steam and did one of them damn Eli Manning falls. Or maybe it was, I don't remember who it was who did that clunky ass fall, right? Yeah, Daniel Jones, that's who it was. I knew it was some Giants quarterback where he just ran out of steam and fell down. I thought Caleb hit one of those, but if you watch the replay, he does get clipped ever so slightly. But I said, damn, my boy couldn't get in the end zone. But he did that next drive.
He do run like he got on one of them concussion helmets. Like his helmet is like 50 pounds too heavy.
He does.
He run like he a bobblehead. Like he a bobblehead with moving legs.
He does. But he gets it in there. However you do it, boy, we'll take it.
Do y'all remember the Michael Jackson music video Speed Demon?
I got to look it up. I don't.
All right, moving on. Okay, moving on. You guys disappoint me every week. Moving on. All right. So your good, Tiff, was Caleb Williams, and I just want to piggyback on that. His clutch ability, no one can deny that right now. He plays his best ball with 6 minutes left. Best passes, best decision making, looking like the best QB in franchise history. I was already confident that he was the guy when we got him last season. But now I'm more than confident. In fact, I'm telling everybody, he's not just a guy. He's better than your guy. And when the game's on the line, he gonna prove it to you. And I'm not even gonna flinch in that moment. But here's the question I want to ask about Caleb, Mr. Caleb Williams. The C in Caleb stands for clutch. Is he the most elusive quarterback in the league right now?
I can't give him that. It's still Lamar.
I mean, that's stretching it a little too far.
You know what? Hold on.
I did not say best runner. I said elusive.
Okay. Now that is a good one because Lamar takes some silly sacks. Caleb's pocket awareness and elusiveness, I don't know how this happens, but he is able to do that little spin, that little twirl where he just twirls like this, and he creates 5 yards of separation every time. It's like a little ballerina twirl.
Why do you keep saying this man twirls? No.
He sees the edge rusher and he just twirls. He sashays right out of there. That's what they said in the article. He sashayed away from Thomas Brown. He sashays right away from them edge rushers. And I don't know. Now to answer that, he might be the most elusive. You might be onto something there because he was Houdini.
Houdini in that game.
He got away from Abdul Carter so many times, Brian Burns so many times, Kayvon. He had to frustrate them. They probably had a chance at about 5 sacks. And I don't believe Caleb got sacked once yesterday, did he? Got sacked one time? Okay, well, he got away from a bunch of sacks. So elusiveness, I, I might have to give it to him. I mean, if I was a fan of another team, I'd be so frustrated trying to get Caleb on the ground. I'd be screaming at my TV because he's always in somebody's clutches and just gets away. He's slippery.
Yeah.
What he did in the offseason to learn this ability, because I want to know what work he did, because I want to put that into my repertoire when I'm training people. Because you remember last year, he didn't have his skill last year, but now his pocket awareness is up here. His ability to break out of tackles is up here, and it's not just strength. It's just I don't know what it is.
Not strength. It's not like he's breaking free from them. Really,
that twirl. He dips that shoulder like this, and then he goes like this, and they can't get him. It's the twirl, the shoulder dip, and he twirls, and he's gone. I'm telling you. Watching this.
So he was on Dancing with the Stars. He was on Dancing with the Stars over the all season. Is that what you said?
It looks like, you remember when you used to play tag when you was a kid and you had an inferior person trying to tag you? That's what Caleb doing. He letting them get close. He toying with them.
I'm going to be looking for the twirl from now on.
Look for the twirl.
Caleb was talking to Chris Sims after the game, and this is what he had to say about how him and his teammates feel when the game gets close. Let me know what you all think.
Changed last 2 drives of the football game, must-have it moments. What changed for you guys in the offense?
Yeah, I would say is that it's must-have it moments, and in those moments, it's nut up or shut up, and so I think that's what we do. I think that's how we handle it, and we go out there and execute our plays, do our job, and we've come out with the victory these past couple games.
Did you say nut up or shut up?
I'm sorry. Is that a well-known phrase?
I thought it was put up or shut up. I didn't know we used to.
I've only in my life heard put up or shut up. That is never how I have heard nut up used. So I just want to, before I misspeak, I want the 2 men to explain to me whether there's a hidden meaning that I may not know. And the perplexed looks on your face say no.
I don't know about nutting up or shutting up.
That sounds wicked. I have never heard that in my life.
Hey, those Gen Z
shut up, and he just didn't know what people don't know cliches all the time, and they get close, but not quite there. I don't know if that's what he was attempting.
Caleb is a Scorpio too, isn't he?
Probably. Is that some Scorpio shit, Vince? Let us know.
That's a Scorpio brother. Nut up or shut up.
I don't
November
know what his
18th.
birthday is, but it ain't got
November 18th. I believe those are
there
Scorpios.
You go. Damn, you got a birthday card coming for him. Why you know his birthday like that?
He's definitely getting a birthday gift.
Because wait a minute, when I knew somebody's birthday, because he had the exact same birthday as me, you all was all on my case. Q just randomly knows what K's birthday is, and you say nothing. Exactly. These double standards are atrocious.
We see who the real Caleb fan is here.
Yeah, I don't need to know his birthday. I just appreciate his football play. That's it. And I don't know his new turns of phrases that he's making up with this nut up or shut up. That maybe that's some Gen Z, slang that I've never heard, but
Gen Z Scorpio thing. Those freaky ass Scorpios.
My man said we nut up or shut up. Okay. I know Chris was like,
you gonna nut or you gonna shut? Which one?
Sims didn't know what to say to that shit. He's like, Caleb, did you mean put up or shut up? Nah, I meant what I said. I said what I said.
That's gonna be my new term. Nut it or shut it.
Y'all doing too much on my quarterback, man. Y'all know what he meant. Y'all know what he meant. He meant grab your nuts. When the going gets tough, you grab your nuts. That's what he was saying, and you know it, man. Come on, knock it off.
Maybe man up or shut up?
Knock it off.
I don't know.
That's what it means.
You Scorpios need to be on the offender list. You just said when the going gets tough, grab your nuts. But when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You don't get to grabbing your nuts. Like, what are y'all doing?
To be saying say anything about grabbing nuts or putting nuts up. I am confusion.
Oh, making
Where is
people nut or nutting yourself. These Scorpios. Hey, we gotta hurry to get up out of Scorpio season. It's getting real freaky in here.
immediately, expeditiously? Because what is
Hey,
happening?
who next? Who is next
Whose
after these
man's
freaky
is this?
Scorpios? Bring them in. What is it? Capricorn season, Sagittarius?
I
Bring them
don't know
people
who it
in.
is, but please
Sagittarius.
start their clock because
Sagittarius.
that's enough.
Start the Sagittarius. Get these freaky people up out of here.
What was your good, Q?
My good, I'm gonna go with C.J. Garner Johnson because this man was out of football 3 weeks ago. He was out of football. You hear him talk, and he talked about the biggest thing he's learned is being humble when he was out of football. And a lot of teams didn't want to give him a chance because he's been able to get under opponent's skin, but he's also has a reputation of getting under teammates and coaches' skin. So this was kind of like a redemption thing for him, and I think it ties in with the Bears season. Like you talked about, we had to unlearn how to lose. This is a redeeming season for the Bears. We have so many guys who have been here since the Eberflus regime. Guys like Jaquan Brisker, Cole Kmet. They've watched us lose in so many different ways, blowing leads, um, stupid penalties at the end of the game, Hail Marys. So my good is C.J. Garner Johnson. He's come in here. He's immediately picked up the defense because he has familiarity with Dennis Allen. He's provided good veteran leadership, and he has 3 sacks in 2 games. Like he's really fit into that Dennis Allen blitz concept. And this is a guy who, people asked, was he washed up? Was he done playing his best football? And I disagreed. I said just 9 months ago, he was a starter on the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl team. He played 90% of the snaps for them. He was a good player. Pro Football Focus graded him well. But the NFL is a tough business. One bad game and then you having issues in the locker room, you could be, in street clothes or doing a podcast like us. So my good was C.J. Garner Johnson. I think he did a great job. He forced a fumble, had 2 sacks. He was all over the place being disruptive.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was as young as he was. I thought he was like in his
Only
early
27.
30s.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
27,
Well
like about
traveled.
to be 28. He still got some time left. And because I was, like I think I said last week, I was very apprehensive when we added him. Like, man, this guy.
It's a good
But
reason.
it seems like the team and the defense has like anytime he make any kind of play, they all like bigging him up and excited. So it seems like they do have a true camaraderie. And hearing his speech when he got the game ball, when he was saying, I sat at home for 3 months, you know what I'm saying? You could tell
Yeah.
that this has been hopefully an awakening from him to realize what he may have lost. And this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And to come into a team that's winning certainly helps. That seems to have great team culture that has really embraced him. I don't know how much some of them knew him besides Dennis Allen before the season. I know Caleb said he didn't really know him at all, but it seems like, the team has embraced him and he's embraced the team. So I'm excited for him. I'm certainly excited for the impact he's made because he made an impact in his first game and he definitely made an impact in yesterday's game. So I hope he continues to do that because we real short on the defensive side of the ball. So I was excited for him and excited for the team.
C.J. Gardner Johnson, since joining the Bears, has 15 tackles, 3 sacks, like you said, Q, and a forced fumble, and 1 game ball. That's one hell of a pickup for Ryan Poles. We got to give it up for Ryan Poles there, man.
Yeah.
Immediate impact.
Especially considering all the
And I
injuries
don't
we
know
had
if
in the
he's making like the
secondary.
league minimum. I don't know what he's making, but yeah, that was a great pickup.
My good.
I took Caleb. Look at him. He mad because I took Caleb. He don't know what to say now. He ain't never gave nobody else praise but Caleb. He like, what do I say now?
That's not true. I come with a list. Just so I have backups. My plan, man, this was always going to be my good. Oh, I knew someone else was going to take Caleb, so I was just going to piggyback off of that. But my good, the blocking. Luther Burton He made a spectacular catch on that last drive. And, Caleb threw a dart to him, and that was a big-time catch. What I noticed, what jumped off the screen to me, number 10, laying fools out on that game-winning run from Caleb, laying fools out on that touchdown, the other touchdown that the Bears scored. That we came into the season saying no block, no rock. And he's still embodying that phraseology. But nobody blocks more came off the screen than number 58.
Yes.
Darnell Wright.
That man is going viral, okay?
Hey, he is a man on a mission.
Rightfully so.
This season is going to end in Hawaii or wherever they play the Pro Bowl now.
He said Pro Bowl or bust for him.
Dude, we were joking when we said, go ahead and mess up your other elbow because we need you to go from play that way and then take it up to notch. Ever since he got that Tommy John injury, he's been lights out. He faded to black. Hey, go ahead and bust the other elbow, and I want to see how much better he can get with 2 busted elbows. I want to see maybe can he be better than Sewell? Can he?
Hey,
possibly?
I don't know what is on that brace, but it done unlocked him. He's like the Winter Soldier since he got the bionic arm. Like he is beating edge rushers into oblivion. So yeah,
Brian Burns
spinning them around like a little child. You talk about a twirl. He had Brian Burns doing a little twirl.
Nah, you remember prime Derrick Henry when he was sending little baby cornerbacks into the air. He sent Brian Burns flying in the fourth quarter. And in the group chat, I'm like, bro, Darnell Wright is tripping right now. He cleaned Brian Burns' clock.
And then he kind of stood over him like a dad, like, come on, son, don't get up.
It looked like he helped him up. It looked like he helped him up so he can knock him down again. That's what it looked like to me. But Darnell Wright's ability to consistently dominate top-tier defensive edge talent. Brian Burns, who we talked about in the preview, like, hey, you got to watch out for him, bro. You got to watch out for him. You ain't got to watch out for him because number 58 got your back. Even dealing with that injury, he is starting to show that he is a cornerstone for the squad. When they drafted Penei Sewell up there in Detroit, he's a cornerstone for that team. He was the first building block for that team to turn things around.
He was.
Darnell Wright, if he keeps going the way that he's going, when they write the story on this era of Bears football, it might be the same way. It might be Darnell Wright was the first guy. When he's going into Canton, possibly, and Caleb's going into Canton, Ryan Poe's going into Canton, maybe. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But it could be if the quarterback's pocket is what they say it is, like a castle wall. He's definitely the biggest brick out there. He's the sturdiest one. Ain't nobody coming around Darnell Wright right now. So he's getting my game ball. That's the good for the game. Him and all them pancakes he was laying out. If Original House of Pancakes, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, Darnell's coming up time to be at the negotiation table too. He's definitely making a case to get a nice contract. This is third year. They got the 5th-year option. So next offseason when they talk about extension, Ryan better sit down and offer Buddy some good money. We can't let this one get away.
Continue going on this path. Hey, the pocketbook's open. If you need some more money, Dal Eberdango, he can donate some.
Yeah. We can donate some of our podcast money. I'm okay with it.
Let's not go too far. Let's not go too far there.
For yourself.
Oh, you know what? One of our podcast bros one of the guys on the channel, he got extra money. It's time for you to step up, Harry. Do your part.
That's
as much
the
as
betting
Harry
expert.
loved Caleb. As much as Harry loved Caleb, you just got to tell him it's for Caleb, and he'll step up.
He'll definitely do it. He'll definitely do it.
He ain't no choice. We're gonna beat it out of him.
You got to be careful using that term with Harry because he beat it out of me. Come on.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna scratch that from the episode. You're right. Unlike other weeks where there was a lot of goods that we just had to try to fit in there, I think we got the three really goods. certain blockers, Caleb and CJJ. Maybe you can have a good for Rome, but might be stretching. But the reason I say that is this game had its fair share of bad too. So let's go ahead and open up that chapter of the book. Q, kick us off. Bad from this week.
And I'm probably going to steal both of y'all bad, but you gave me the first opportunity. What the hell was that, Zacchaeus? Olympic? Oladeus? Zacchaeus, what the hell was going on? Was your hands cold? Zacchaeus? That was bad. The first drop, I was like, okay, Caleb put some mustard on it. By the third drop, I'm like, you got to get him off the field. Where is Luther Burden? Where is Jade Skywalker? You got to get him off the field. The touchdown drop was egregious. You're paid to make those catches. Zacchaeus, that was brutal to watch. We saw Rome bounce back from a bad game. I don't know if Zacchaeus will be getting the same opportunity because Burden made good use of his opportunities. Burden looked good, snatched the ball out the air, was able to get some yards after the catch. So Zacchaeus and his drops alone, that was my bad.
What about you, Tiff?
I'm going to jump in and say, not too much on Rome now. Rome didn't have, his all-star game last week, but let's not act like he was the worst wide receiver ever last week. No, he didn't have a catch. He had maybe one or two drops that were like, all right, bro, you definitely should have brought that in. But not too much on Rome, and he definitely bounced back this week. So we are going to give him and put him good because I don't think Rome and OZ are even in the same conversation because I don't know about you all, but I had OZ as my ugly, okay? Because, they've been talking about, that's what the buzz you've heard from people discussing the game, the talking heads, right? There were 6 drops. The receivers kept dropping it. I didn't feel like outside of Zacchaeus that anyone else's drop was just egregious. There were a few where there was one where it technically hit the fingertips of Ron, but it was out of his reach. DJ, the one in the end zone where he was out of bounds a little bit. Zacchaeus is the only one that I felt like you are dropping blatant passes. Like the one you said in the end zone, that one was unforgivable. So I just felt that was the ugly to me. I understand why Caleb didn't throw him the ball on that last drive and said, I'm going to run it in myself. Because he's like, I'm not putting another pass in your hands for you to drop it. So I don't know what was going on with him that day, if he need hand warmers or what. But, bro, that's unacceptable. We like your energy. We love how you fly in on the touchdowns and congratulate your boys. But if you can't catch the ball, bro, we're going to get you off the field. Because Luther Burden came in and made a clutch catch. Colston had another clutch catch where it was really on his fingertips, and he brought that thing in. So this is your competition, OZ.
Yes, he
if
did.
you can't catch with them, I hate it for you. So, yeah, but I'm going to go with my bad. I don't know who on the defense particularly that I want to pull out because no one was outstandingly bad for me to call on, but the defense in general just wasn't great. We've said that weeks in past. I don't know if you listened to the game. The announcers were pretty disrespectful to both defenses the whole entire game. I'm like, damn, how many times are they going to say that both of these defenses are pretty much trash? It was kind of comical at a point, but the defense did not play well. Now, I will say the one thing for the defense and the team in general were our penalties. I think we only had 3 penalties for the whole game, which is amazing for us. But we started the game, I believe that first drive, the defense had 2 penalties on that first drive. So I was like, shit, here we go. But thankfully they cleaned that part of it. But I mean, Slayton was getting off. Bro had 2 or 3. He had that amazing catch, a la, OBJ. But he had 2 or 3 30-some yard catches in a row, and I believe a touchdown. On that same drive, they were letting Slayton get whatever he want. We've already said Dart was, running around getting whatever he wanted. So the defense in general, it just was not a good day for them. Now, when they needed it most, they knocked the ball away from Dart, and unfortunately, he got put out the game. And then, when Russell Wilson came in, they were on his ass, and he couldn't do anything. So when it really, really mattered, they showed up. But for most of the game, the Giants were getting whatever they wanted. And that's been a running problem with us week after week, that these teams are getting throws that they want. They're getting runs that they want. It's like, damn, what can we stop? And if we don't have those takeaways, we're shot. Thankfully, we did get one takeaway in this game, and that was literally the turning point of the game. But our defense, man, we got some work to do.
Yeah, you can go back 2 episodes. I said this defense is cheeks. I don't know how much longer we can hide this defense. I want to believe that if we ever get TJ back, if we ever get Kyler back, he's supposed to come back off the IR week 12 to see our good old friend who we gonna run his pockets real good that week. But we'll talk about that later. Whether it's on the ground, especially in this game, and through the air, it's a lot of questions, man. It's if you got to put Ray McLeod on the field, you already fucked up. If you got to put Blackwell on the field, you already fucked up. Other than Steve Deuce, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I don't really know where you turn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tremaine Edmonds, he played decent, but it was only in so well. Martez Sweat, he had a sack. I think he had a sack and a half in this game.
He did.
So,
he had a sack.
So other that brings him to 5 sacks on the season. So I mean, halfway through the season, that's not really bad. But
that's got to be in the last couple games because he didn't have none. I don't think in the first couple games.
Yeah, he's turned up the last 4 games.
In my opinion, Tiff, to add on to this point, playing a team like the Giants, who, and this is going to lead into my bad, playing a team like the Giants who give up a lot of sacks, who typically play one style of offense, run the ball and try to make your quarterback run. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much high school ball. It's pretty much a high school offensive game plan. Why are we getting gashed by that? I don't know. But then again, I would never understood why people was getting gashed by the Wildcat. It made no sense to me. You're playing professional football and the Wildcat is confusing you. I don't know. But this defense has got to be better. And another way you help your defense is having a great offensive game plan. And this is my bad. My bad goes to the offensive game plan called by Ben Johnson and Declan Doyle. Q, in our preview, we cited that the best part of the Giants' defense was what?
The pass
rush, right?
Front 4.
Exactly. How do you beat a pass rush?
Misdirection, screen passes, things to get their eyes moving side to side, running the ball right up the middle. Because they've been susceptible to.
There you go.
They've been susceptible to especially up the middle. The Giants have been gutted to have such. I think they got 4 first-round picks on that defensive line, and they've invested a lot of money. Burns, Carter, Thibodeau. What's the big man in the middle? Dexter Lawrence. They spent a lot of money on them.
Sexy Dexy.
I expected to see more carries. I mean, it's not like they abandoned the run, but 14 carries for Swift and 7 for Kyle. I thought coming off the game that Kyle just had and the game Swift had before he was injured, I definitely expected to see some more running. I expected Kyle to, take the back seat, but even taking a back seat, I thought Kyle would get double-digit carries. I thought DeAndre Swift would get close to 20. I thought between those two backs, you want to run the ball 30 times, and yeah, that didn't happen. That was a little perplexing.
You said it. You run right at them. That's one of the ways you beat a pass rush. You have them on their heels. You run directly at them. They're trying to get upfield, so you go right at them. You go right into their chin. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, like you mentioned. Cal Monungai, 7. That's 20. That's 20 combined carries for the team. 28 if you add Caleb.
And they had a good yards per carry. They were running the ball effectively too.
5.4 yards per carry, not including Caleb's 8 carries for 63 yards. Not including that. The Bears' running game by itself, 20 carries for 108 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. Ben Johnson said it himself that, hey, he didn't call the greatest game. He's got to be he's got to be better in that aspect. And I agree.
I like the
I agree.
accountability.
You had to help.
We didn't have that.
I love this
We didn't have that
accountability.
in the Eberflus or Nagy era. There was no accountability.
Oh, you know what? Let's not go too far. Nagy era, Trestman era, definitely. But Eberflus every week he said, "You know what? It's my fault. Blame me." And then after like the 11th loss in a row, like, all right, Eberflus, I'm tired of. I can't blame you no more, bro. I can't blame you no more. At this point, if you got to get better or not, you got to get out. But the game plan it's weird not to run the ball. It's snowing. It's cold. Tiff, you in Chicago? Q, you in Chicago? It felt terrible up there. It was 20 some odd degrees. 31 degrees is my limit. As I get older, my limit keeps going higher. It used to be about 24 is when I was like, all right, that's too much. That's too much. I got to stay in the crib. Now it's about 31, and I heard it was like it felt like 26 yesterday. Like, and it's snowing and it's wind blowing. You can't. Don't throw the ball in that weather. Don't throw the ball. Caleb threw the ball 36 times.
Let me ask you a question. Bears are having one of those seasons a la 2006. You got NFC Championship tickets, and we don't have a dome yet. It's 13 degrees. You going?
No. No. Easy answer, no.
Tiff, it's 9 degrees outside. The wind chill makes it -2. You going to that NFC Championship game? Or you sitting on that couch watching the game?
I can't see it. I'm probably gonna be at a bar somewhere, nice and cozy. I'll celebrate with my comrades, but I can't see it. That's a miserable experience. I don't know if you ever been there, but it's not fun.
Because you said you going to a bar. You better than me because I'm not getting out the bed or off the couch.
Maybe if it's not snowing, if it's just cold, I could, I might go out, but sitting out in that game, it's a zero chance. It's a no.
Still, my worst sports feeling is still it's still a Sunday night football game that I went with my uncle, rest in peace. The Bears was playing the Packers. The Bears, it was so cold, bro. I don't remember what the temperature was, but it was freezing outside. And the Bears didn't show up. And that Hawk was out there. The Hawk was out there. It was beating the shit out of me. And I said I would never come see the Bears again in my life. Now I've been to a few Bears games since then, but I'm telling you, if Hawk outside, I ain't going. Not off the lake. The lake don't play that. I'm not doing it.
No, the lake definitely don't play. I lived by the lake for a few years. Never again. I would never live by that lake.
I felt it was a weird decision for them not to run the ball in terrible conditions. It's snowy, it's windy. You're facing a great pass rush, and they do not stop the run well. We talked about in the preview, Q. They are the 31st ranked rush defense, and we ran the ball at them 20 times. 20 times. We were having success with it, but I don't know why we didn't continue to run the ball. Brian Daboll, I felt like he outcoached Ben Johnson in this game. At least for 3/4 of the game, I felt like he outcoached Ben. The way he had schemed his team up against the Bears defense, it felt like Ben was getting outcoached by Brian Daboll. And Brian Daboll he's not a pushover. He's not a pushover as an offensive mind in this league. He's done some things. He's had a number one offense in this league more than once. So it's not a bad thing to say that Daboll outcoached Brian Johnson. I mean, because it can happen. I just felt like it was a weird decision for us not to dive directly into an obvious weakness for the Giants. And like you said, we came into this game hot as a running team, and we just went away from it. And I felt like that was a missed opportunity. But thankfully, we got Superman Caleb.
Yeah, definitely thank God Caleb put back on his cape and came and rescued the city, not just the Bears, but the city of Chicago. Because the Bulls lost this weekend. We needed Caleb. So he saved us all. I don't know what he's going to do next. He might just walk on water. I don't know.
Okay. Cut the tape.
What happened?
Cut the tape. That's it. Absolutely not.
Caleb Christ, that has a ring. And you know what? Before he's done here, Chicago will have a ring.
Now that I can roll with. That I can roll with.
Was that little bit of blasphemy from Q uglier than all those drops from Zacchaeus Tiff?
No,
Yeah, it was. He's
disagree
trying to get
vehemently.
struck down over there. Like, Brody just dropped a couple rocks. Like, okay. God, that's him on his own. I don't have anything to do with that.
No, we come to you as a group, Lord. We come to you as a group.
No, we don't. No, we don't. He looks on our individual hearts. There is no group. No.
Well, your heart is big enough to bring us in. So I mean,
Yeah, I'll pray for you.
Get us into heaven. When you get on the other side of that gate, tell them let us in.
Hey, ain't no friends and family pass. I don't know what to tell you. Damn, why he assumed you wasn't getting in? No, damn, that's kind of rude.
well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of space open in heaven because there's a lot of people in the last month that they're not Christians. They are not getting into heaven. They've shown their colors. I feel like I like my odds.
There's good real estate, and I once I get to them pearly gates, I'm like, you know what, God, you could do a lot worse than letting me in. Like,
That's facts.
not that bad.
That's facts.
That marketing helps, but okay, hey, give it a shot. Listen here, okay, because both of you took my uglies, okay, because I already had Olabode Zacchaeus very clearly as my ugly, okay. Then I had the run game or lack thereof as my backup ugly, and of course, if you want to come in with that's my bad. You started out with the game plan, cool, that's what's up. Then you segue to the right, like, damn, pick one, pick a lane. Ain't that what you always tell me? But anyway, I'm going to improvise here and say that my ugly was the team just felt off from the start of the game. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know if it was like we were used to scoring on that first drive. And on that first drive, you remember, I believe we had 4th and goal and we didn't get it. We came away with no points. It just felt like the whole game until Caleb put his cape on. We just didn't feel like ourselves. We didn't feel like how we had felt this whole year. Like, even except maybe the Lions game where we just got absolutely obliterated. The rest of the games, I felt like we were in it somewhat. Either the defense was really humming and the offense needed to catch up, or the offense was doing really well and the defense needed to catch up. This game, it felt like neither side of the ball could really catch their footing. Like both teams, us and the Giants were going back and forth on not converting on 4th down. And I get it, the weather was nasty, all these different factors, but it wasn't that damn nasty out there, okay? We didn't even have any missed field goals because thankfully we didn't have to do any long ones. I was happy that their special teams actually shanked a punt and made the mistakes that we had been making in the past. I think the only small thing on the special teams is I think we did let them get a decent, run back one time. But compared to the week before, special teams was great. But I just feel like something, whether it was the game plan, whether it was the execution, whether it was, the defense just not being able to find Dart, not being able to find anybody, really, it just felt like the whole team was out of sync. And I felt like after we came out in the second half that we were going to pick it up, but we let them drive down and score again in the second half. So I really felt like yesterday, like, damn, our little run is probably finally about to come to an end. And thankfully, Caleb did throw his cape on. He has some key players to help him out on the, Colston and Rome and things like that. But the team something felt off with them. And I hope they really get to the bottom of it this week because we've had a lot of miscues week after week after week. And now is the time where we can't have those miscues anymore. I was really positive, again, like I said earlier, that we turned the penalty thing around. We only had 3 penalties, which for us is like a miracle. So there were a lot of good in this game, but something just felt off about the whole team in general, but we still pulled it out. So
my ugly really should have been my bad, but Noah Sewell, he got to give us more even. He got to give us more even performances. He's filled in for TJ Edwards again. And the unfortunate thing about Noah is you kind of notice him for the wrong reasons. He had the roughing the passer penalty, even though I think that was a little bit, petty. But, he had a couple missed tackles and a couple bad angles again. in the running game. And was it where he was supposed to be in some of the
Yeah, he
pass
missed that tackle
in
on
some of the pass
Singletary.
defense
Let him
things.
go for like 40.
So I'm gonna go with my ugly Noah Sewell. He really should have been my bad though, but yeah, Noah. We need him to step up. I don't think TJ's gonna be back this week. And if TJ isn't back this week, I need the Bears to maybe think about getting in Hippolyte. They did so much bragging about Hippolyte in the off season, and he hasn't even been active the last few weeks. I don't know what's going on. This is another high pick. I think Ron Post picked him in the 4th round, and a lot of people didn't think he was going to get drafted at 6th or 7th. So you kind of reached on him. I need to see him out there.
Question for you all, since Q brought up that roughing the passer call. Do we feel like Caleb is kind of getting the Justin Fields treatment in the fact that he doesn't really get those calls? Because we had Jackson Dart. He kind of got hit in the head. His helmet was already coming off, but then they were like, oh, his helmet's off. It's the defender's, he's got to avoid it. Okay, that was a penalty, whatever. But then, like, damn near the next play, Caleb's going down, and the defender comes in and knees him in the back of the damn head. And they were like, oh, that was... And they were like, it was inadvertent. I didn't know you had to intend to do it for it to be a penalty. So I just didn't understand how Caleb clearly getting kneed in the back of the head after he had already given himself up very clearly was not a penalty, but Darts was. And I just go back to other times where I feel like he's gotten hit out of bounds or pushed out of bounds. And I just don't feel like he gets I don't know that I remember him getting a roughing the passer call. So that's just a question that I had that I wanted to get you all's perspective. Because it seems like the quarterbacks that they deem strong and elusive and whatever, they don't give them those calls.
Yeah, it's a lot. I won't even call it Justin Fields treatment. I'm going to call it Shaq treatment. Just because Caleb isn't, on the ground like a balled up spider doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve the flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I'm seeing hits to the helmet,
late hits
below,
along the sideline.
low hits.
I feel like he
late
gets
hits.
late hits and hits out of bounds a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, and Justin used to get that a lot too. It's like just because they're strong and athletic don't mean that they should be, prone to a little excessive violence.
And that's what it feels like to me. So I just wanted to throw that question out there because I was like, damn, you all just gave darted and okay. But damn, Caleb got kneed in the back of the head after he had very clearly slid and given himself up. And it wasn't even a thought about it. So I'm just like, and then I believe the last game, he was out of bounds and the defender kind of flung him down and it was no flag. I just feel like he don't get flagged like other QBs do.
For my ugly, I was... See, because Q made his ugly Zacchaeus. Well, Q made his bad Zacchaeus, so it kind of threw us off. I figured that we was all going. I figured that we was going to do what we did last week and have one big ugly as far as drops. So I was holding this back. I did want to mention that the team as a whole was dropping passes, not just Zacchaeus. I mean, depending on who you listen to, the Bears had 6 to 8 drops total, and I don't want to blame all of it on the receivers. So close them snowball ass eyes right now. They're glassy. Close them, shut them down. It's very few times drops are just all on the receiver, right? Drops and ball placement go hand in hand. You heard it a couple of times during that broadcast that Caleb's throwing the ball very hard. That in the elements and the snow and the wind.
There was a lot of mustard on some of those passes. A couple, he didn't need the mustard on those passes. That was the thing. Some of them, he could have kind of, finessed them in there. One of those Zacchaeus was a tough
finesse guy. He's not a finesse guy.
Don't get me wrong. Zacchaeus should have caught one of those, but I was like, that's a lot of mustard on a guy. And then he did it early in the game on a screen to DJ. Didn't need the mustard on it.
So there was one that I remember that DJ didn't bring in. They put at him as a drop, and I'm like, yeah,
was that the ball could have been. Was that the touchdown? He was out of bounds. They put that as a drop.
No, not that one.
No, not that one. Not that one.
No, it was a screen.
It was
a screen one early in the game. It had to be maybe the first drive. It kind of went off his shoulder pad, but it was a whole lot of mustard and didn't need to be on. It just didn't need to be zipped in like that. He didn't put it. and the best. Let's face it, the ball placement wasn't good on the pass.
So there was that one. There was a couple of ones to. There was the one that was the DJ. There was another one to Rome. The ones to Zacchaeus, I'm not giving Zacchaeus any. I'm not giving him an out. All three of them Zacchaeus could have caught. There was Cal Monunga, he could have caught. No, the one early in the game, the Cal Monunga, it was a little bit ahead of him too. So
and there was one. I think there was one to Swift that was a little. Too.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Before the last 3 drives of the game, Caleb was flirting with 50% completion percentage. That is abysmal. Now, dropped, but some of those passes were not the best catchable balls. A lot of that goes into how the game played out. However, that's not my official ugly. My official ugly is back on the coaches. We didn't have the best game plan for Tyler Huntley. We let Tyler Huntley do a little bit too much when we played the Baltimore Ravens a couple of weeks back. We let Tyler Huntley do a little bit too much for somebody who was a career backup. Granted, they had no time to prepare for Tyler Huntley because they had the whole week they spent thinking about Lamar Jackson. I will give them that out. But 2 weeks later, we're playing another quarterback that will break containment. You know it's going to break containment, and we had zero. Tiffany, do your thing. Zero preparation. It looked like for that type of quarterback. I didn't notice any spies out there. We failed at containing him. I couldn't tell if there was a spy out there. We didn't have any exotic stunts to confuse this rookie quarterback and make it seem like make him second guess where he needs to escape from. It was just a bad. I felt like it was I'm gonna just call it. It was a bad day for the coordinators. Offensive coordinator, that's Ben. And defensive coordinator, that's Dennis Allen. Yep. When they needed to, shit got together. Right. I understand that. And the win is the win. However, the game as a whole is what I'm talking about. And we did not have the best showing against a team that we should have. We should have dominated. And to circle all the way back to the beginning of the episode, haters, they're right. They are, let me not say it right. The haters are justified in questioning how good the Bears are. The Bears should have dominated some of these games in this stretch. The Bears should have dominated the Giants. They didn't. How that goes for the rest of the season, we shall find out. But I'm looking for everybody, defense, offense, and the coaches to have a better showing coming down the stretch. If we want to make the playoffs, if we want to do something special, we're going to need to, because I don't know if y'all know this or not. We're going into week 11, and I don't think you can tell me who the best team in the league is right now. I don't think you can actually just say without a shadow of doubt who's the best team.
Rams are putting in a really good claim for it right now. They are firing on offense and defense.
I think
good claim.
Rams and the Colts. I think between the Rams and the Colts.
Is not definitive, is what I'm saying. You can make an argument for a lot of different teams, and that's what I'm getting to. If the Bears have an opportunity to do something special, I mean, they can. Why can't the Bears be this year's Commanders? Why can't they find their way into the championship game and do something crazy? There's no reason why they can't, but they're not going to get there unless everybody locks in and start doing a big one. We can't have too many showings of which the defense plays the way that they played on Sunday. The defensive coordinator calls the game that he called. Ben calls the game that he calls. And Caleb is sputtering around with close to 50% completion percentage going into the fourth quarter. Got to do better than that.
Yeah, I didn't understand the defensive game plan either. It was like we did know we were playing a mobile quarterback this week, right? We have watched them play. Like you said, I don't think we spied once on him. What were we expecting him to do? And even when we saw what he was doing, we didn't adjust. So that's what's a little frustrating. Like, okay, Dennis, okay, we need to be making adjustments. When we see whatever game plan we had ain't working, what adjustments are we making? And I understand that our personnel is not ideal, but at the end of the day, we need people to step up. We need Wright and Brisker and everybody else that's on that field, especially, I love Kwani, but he's a big talker. He is a big talker, and it's time for him to be producing results every game. So I agree. I don't think Dennis Allen had a very good game plan this game. And again, these are the mistakes that we have gotten away with against these lesser teams, but we've got to come with full force with a great game plan on all sides of the ball, special teams, offense, and defense going forward.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.